Welcome to the Brit podcast.
Under 10 seconds. Game's going to be decided here. Harrell spots up. Doesn't go. Put back is good! Roberto Canada with a second chance opportunity. Aris Lee. Per Gunther for three. Got it. Per Gunther, 3 punta. Holland. Pull up 3, no good. Orcus, the offensive board. He turns around and shoots. Got it at the buzzer!
Hello and welcome back. It's episode 29 of the Brit podcast. We'll call this one London's Young Lion. Hey everyone, it's good to be finally back. Apologies for the lack of episodes recently. Life sometimes throws you a curveball and you have to deal with it. Anyhow, in this episode, I catch up with London Lions Matt Goodwin as we delve into his basketball background and the journey that's got him to where he is today. It was great to catch up with Matt and learn about why he loves being part of the London Lions and how it's helping his development as a player. Now, before I get messages, yes, a couple of times in the interview, I will refer to the SLB Cup as a trophy. Please forgive me, I'm out of practice. Anyhow, without further ado, let's get to it.
So, Matt, let's start with a recent event, the SLB Trophy Final. The Lions are in it, and you're going to Manchester. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. Very, very excited. I think I talked about it on the pod, the Lions pod, a tiny bit, saying like how cool it is to go back to the AO Arena, as I knew it, the MEN. It's going to be awesome. I can have my friends and family there. I can have loads of people I know there. And to be able to, watch me on a big stage has always been like a dream of mine.
I watched that pod and you were talking about obviously the big events because obviously you talk about the MEN. It's had a lot of basketball events in the past, hasn't it? And you've been to some of them, is that right?
Yeah, I've been to all the ones I think I could have been to when I was younger. There was the NBA games. I think it was OKC versus Philadelphia. Yeah,
it was there.
Was that 2013? I think
round about that.
2011. Yeah, and then they hosted the USA men's basketball team versus GB, both men's and women's.
Yeah,
they were pre-Olympics, so that was like 2011, 2012 ish.
2012. Yeah,
and I think that's all the ones that they've hosted in my generation, if that makes sense. Some of the ones maybe they hosted early in like the early, like from 2005 2010, I might have been a bit too young to go to.
Yeah,
but I think I went to all the ones I could have gone to. So
yeah, obviously, it was before you were born. But to me, the best game of the old BBL was a Manchester Sheffield game in 1999, title decider, last day of the season, and it was at that arena back in obviously MEN. Was it MEN or 9X even back then? God, I'm showing me age.
Yeah.
So this is special for you. So you're gonna have a lot of family going to the game, do you think?
Yeah, I think my the Goodwin 5, or the core 5, mum, dad, sister, my 2 younger brothers should be going. My grandparents should be able to make it. And I'm gonna reach out to maybe a few other bits of bobs of family to see if they want to come down.
Yeah.
Because it's a good family event. Get all the Goodwins there. It should be good.
Because obviously you go up to Manchester a couple of times a season with the Lions at least anyway, but this is going to be different simply because of the iconic venue which we've both discussed just now.
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, playing at Bellevue does have a bit of sentimental feeling because I played there during my junior days in like Final Fours and what have you, and I played there with the Giants for a year. But it doesn't compare to the MEN or the AO Arena, sorry, because it's like my childhood arena, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so hopefully they will be joining you. Let's get you back because obviously you're from that part of the country. Just talk to me. How did basketball become a part of your life?
It was weird. It was really. I think my dad played it. He was decent, but he wasn't amazing. Not to put him down or what have you. But so he got me really into it when I was young. I was about 3. There was this club called Reddish Rebels at the time, which is like a little community session thing, and my dad just threw me in there, and we had and that's pretty much it. It was my dad that really got me into it.
And has he followed you all the way on this journey so far?
Entire time. He's mainly been like my I don't know what the phrase is, like my rock that I lean on. He whenever I need some sort of advice, whenever I need some anything. It could be even just like, for example, financial advice, or obviously he's a banker, but advice with finances, advice with just stuff outside of basketball with my life. He's always been someone I can like rely on to give me an honest answer.
Would you say he's your biggest fan?
See, now this could get really political because if I say my dad, my mum might kick off.
Oh, there you go. They're both your biggest fans then. There you go.
Yeah, those two. I'd go with those two. Yeah.
And when did you start playing sort of organized basketball? How did that opportunity come about?
So now again just pure circumstance. It was at the what's it called the Manchester NBA games, and they were
Yeah.
hosting an event in Manchester Piccadilly,
Right.
and it was like just they put up a ring, they put up a floor, like a court and what have you, and they did like a load of events. And there was this. We went there, obviously, my dad and my family, and we were watching this event, and they were having a game of Killer. You know what the game of Killer
Oh
is?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And essentially, I was, bricking it. I didn't really want to go and sign up for it. And my dad put his hand up, and in doing so, dragged me on.
Mm.
So I joined this game of Killer with like 10 other men, just me, little Matt Goodwin. There's some videos on my mum's and some pictures on my mum's Facebook. I look like genuinely, I'm tiny. And I beat a load of these guys in a game of Killer.
Mm.
And lo and behold, John Amici, who you may be aware of,
Oh,
was
no, John, yeah.
there that day. And at the time, he was still in connection with Manchester Magic. So he came and spoke to me and my dad and said, listen, your kid's good, what have you? Get him over to Manchester Magic. So then within the next week, I go over to Manchester Magic, and that was it. I think I was maybe 7 or 8 years old. I think 8 years old.
The big question is, did you
Um,
get a prize for winning the killer?
I did. I got a little goodie bag actually. It was pretty good. Had a headband. What else did I have in it? I had one of those like cushion balls as well.
Yeah, I do
So
remember
yeah,
the NBA Manchester because I was working it, and there was loads of
yeah.
events like they had some of the print works. It was
That's the one I went to, not Piccadilly Circus. It
print
was
works, yeah,
Printworks. Yeah,
yeah. Then maybe I know somebody who might have pictures because he was the official photographer there that day.
there might be. If not, there's
They were giving away tickets as well for the game because it never sold out, unfortunately, that one.
So that's how I got tickets for that game.
There
So
you
that was
go.
my prize. Me and my dad got 2 tickets to that game. So yeah,
Well, next time you go back on the Lions podcast, now you have to set the story straight. Print works.
yeah, yeah. The Printworks. Whoops.
So did you come then part of the Magic's junior system?
Yes. So they kind of threw me into the deep end. At the time, there wasn't really like an under eights. There wasn't even really an under tens or under 11s. So they kind of just threw me in to the straight into like the under 13s roster.
Hmm.
At that time, it was under 13s, under 15s, under 17s, not 14s, 16s, 18s. So they just threw me in with a bunch of, 13-year-olds, 12, 13-year-olds, which is straight into the deep end.
Was it
And
daunting?
then, well, I think at 8, you don't really care, do you really? I mean,
Want to
I'm
play?
not really thinking, yeah, I'm just out there to play, have fun, what have you. Um, and then from there on, I just kept on working my way up through the Manchester Magic system, going through loads of different coaches, loads of different development opportunities. Always playing up, like I said on the other one, always played up pretty much my entire career. So yeah,
I suppose it's good in a way, your chance of playing up because you're always playing against better and better competitors. So when you move up the
yeah,
next level, that helps you because you've pretty much
yeah,
done that most of your career. Because I'll get to the Lions in a bit, but obviously you're the youngest guy on that roster, aren't you?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Magic, you go through there. When did you leave the Magic? Because obviously, first time I remember seeing your name was with the Manchester Giants. Was that the last season
Yeah.
of BBL, wasn't it?
The last season of BBL, yeah.
Yeah.
It was my last year of A levels,
Mhm.
and I left Magic, like the club, to go join Manchester Giants BBL team. But I stayed in the Manchester Magic Academy, so I was able to play EABL on Wednesdays still.
Well, that prepped you for London playing so many games in a season, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
How did the opportunity come about then for you to join Manchester? Well, sorry,
That
join
was a
Giants.
weird one. So we were always in talk with the Lions with Brett Berman. I think is it
Yeah,
Brett
Brett, yeah.
Berman?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
first GM, yeah.
So we're always in talks with him, and then he talked to the Manchester owner and saying, listen, if you guys could take him for a year to prep him for the Lions, do it. I sat down with the Manchester Giants head coach, Brian Simonian, and I spoke with the Giants GM, had a word with Dominique Allen, and they were all really keen on getting me down there, getting me into their roster, letting me learn from them and their players. And from then it's just, yeah, that's history, yeah.
And what do you remember of that first season in what was BBL?
So I remember it is pretty daunting, and the jumping level is more than what sometimes people think it is. So I went straight from Division One, the old Division One,
Yeah, yeah,
which is now classed as BCB, I think. So I went from
yeah.
the old Division One to BBL, so which is the jump that some people do. Mitch Clark, Aaron Rye, um, I think Malcolm Smith did it a bit this season as well. So you get a few that jump it. Yeah, you went from Derby to Newcastle for a bit. You get a few that jump it, and people don't realise how big of a jump it actually is sometimes.
It's actually no
So
difference if you're playing EABL during the week and then playing for the Giants the weekend. That's a massive gap, isn't it?
said this to people, it's so difficult because in the EABL, sometimes you get a bit of unorganized basketball, obviously, because it is junior. And
Mm,
say, for example, I could attack from the wing, but in the Giants, I know where help side is rotating from because it's always rotating from the last man.
yeah.
But in EABL, anyone could come. The referee could come. Like anyone, the sideline, it's insane. It's a completely different kettle of fish. Um, so it was hard to jump from playing EABL, for example, on a Wednesday and then practicing with the Giants on the Thursday and then playing Friday. It's like you kind of get mixed between the basketball worlds.
And then, so after that season with Manchester, was it always set up that you would be joining London the following year?
So yeah, I originally signed with the 777 organization when Brett Berman was in charge, and when 777 ended, um, and obviously Testnet came in, they decided to honour my contract and go ahead with the plan of bringing me down to London. So it was always like predestined in a way for me to come down here, if that makes sense. But yeah,
And up until that point, when you paid down to London, had you always been around Manchester, the Northwest?
yes, I never really left. I mean, I traveled the world with, GB and
Mm,
obviously loads of different opportunities that I was,
yeah,
uh, you know, fortunate to be part of. But I never really left Manchester for basketball. I always stayed
yeah.
there if it was either Magic or Giants.
And what was it like? Is I know Manchester and I know London, and they're two
Mm.
completely different cities. What was it like
Yeah.
for you coming down and obviously learning to live in a new city?
London's a bit hectic. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Loads of people. I mean, it still boggles my mind how busy, the tube gets.
Mm,
Sometimes it's genuinely ridiculous how many people cram onto a tube, but I feel like London is just a lot more rushed. Everyone's going somewhere, everyone's doing something. Sometimes you get
mm.
people in Manchester, you're thinking, what are they doing? What are they up to? Like just wandering in lines and what have you. So it is a completely different city, but it's fun because I'm young. I get to experience one of the arguably one of the best cities in the world
Mm.
at such a young age. I get the ability to explore it with loads of people. My family have come down. I've been able to explore with my girlfriend for a little bit, so it's been good fun.
There's always, the thing at London is there's always something within a few miles to do, isn't there?
Always, there's so much to do here, so much to do.
So you come down, and obviously your first season in London, you were playing under Petar Bozic.
Yes.
Now, obviously, Petar and now Coach someone is two completely different coaches. But what's it been like these last 2 years playing for two coaches with such pedigrees? Obviously, Coach Sabonis, his
Mhm.
background Jagiris, so his family in basketball, and Petar Bozic obviously was in the NBA before he came over here. He
Yeah.
played in a EuroLeague Final Four when he was a player. What's it like
Mhm.
having those two as your coaches the last 2 seasons?
It's kind of mind blowing. I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of doesn't feel real, if that makes sense. Having, the likes of Petar Bozic be at my side,
Yeah.
being able to see him and learn from him every day. And then the following year, I have arguably one of the greatest families in European basketball. I have, Sabonis as well. who I
Mm.
can learn from. He's had such a, he's had a pretty decent basketball career, and then he went to Žalgiris, and then he learned so much while he was there. He's probably learned tons from his brother, loads from his dad. I mean, the amount of knowledge I can intake from these two people is next to none. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get onto obviously lines a little bit, but I suppose these past 2 years, are you like, do you feel like a sponge sometimes? You're just taking in so much.
Yeah, yeah. I was advised by so when I first got here, I kind of knew Youngblood a little bit.
Mhm.
I not bumped into him, but I went to a few of the camps in England. They were called the Let Me Play camps, and he coached there. And I asked him for one piece of advice before I came here, and he said, just be a sponge. Just take in as much as you can, as much as you can.
Mm.
And then he came to me pre-season or pre-season for like in the summer, and he came up to me and said, "If you thought you were going, yeah, you need to be a sponge last season. Just wait until this season. You need to take in everything. You need to learn quick."
Yeah.
And because he was trying to get me ready for the EuroCup level of basketball, which is, you know,
Mm.
significantly higher than the SLB.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for Robert Youngblood because my generation, we remember him as the player. And he was
Yeah.
very good in his BBL days.
Hmm.
A lot of the guys, when I used to do some EuroCup stuff for the Lions, I was doing sideline reporting, didn't really know much about Youngblood's history as a player, but
He, he
he
was
was a
good.
player. He was a
Yeah, my dad. So at that Let Me Play camp, there's a picture of me and Robert Youngblood. Uh, it's kind of it, it hurt him when I showed him because it made him feel really old.
yeah.
So when I first showed him this picture, it's like a little me and he's resting his elbow on me. And he said, "Oh, drop down, give me 30," because I made him feel old. But there's a picture of my dad next to him as well. My dad got a picture with him because my dad grew up watching him as well
Mm.
in the UK scene. So he is, a UK basketball legend.
Let's go on to EuroCup. I mean, obviously, still a youngster. I mean, you
Yeah.
only got limited court time in EuroCup this
Mhm.
season, but what was it like for you to get the opportunity? I remember you scoring a basket against, was it Besiktas early on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you remember it well then.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because obviously you are on the bench. You know you're not going to get a great deal of time in that competition. But what was it like for you experiencing that for the first time? Because it's a very high level of competition.
It is, you know, eye opening to see the level that some people can get to.
Mm.
Um, it's also crazy to see how other cultures treat basketball. So when I went on these away trips to Turkey, to Greece, to Italy, to see their fans and the way they, treat basketball, it's like a religion almost.
Mm.
Chanting, screaming, they got the scars out, they're going, they're going crazy. So it's kind of a massive, not a culture shock, but kind of in a way that it's like, whoa, this is how they actually do it out here. Because
Yeah.
prior to this, I've never really seen much of it. I've seen it in the under 18 championships for GB in 2022, I want to believe. But other than that, I've never really seen it before.
Yeah. Now you go to Serbia, Greece.
Yeah.
You went to Istanbul a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's that is just the way. That's the way it is, and it's wonderful. I love it. You ever get the
Mhm.
chance to go to EuroLeague Final Four, and if you've got a Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, or one, or even Partizan in the Final Four, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It kind of makes me wish, in a way, we could get those sort of atmospheres here. And you did obviously have some good atmospheres at Copper Box this season, depending on
Mhm.
which team were coming in to play you.
Yeah. I think Besiktas was the best one.
Mm.
Besiktas, they were outside chanting, setting off fireworks, causing havoc with the police and what have you. Then we get in there, then they're setting off firecrackers, yelling, screaming. I think the funniest thing I saw, and I always try to stay focused in the game, but sometimes I see the fans doing stuff and it kind of catches my eye.
Mm.
I saw, Stan, Huncho Stan, he normally does the Mexican wave going round.
Yeah, yeah.
And it got to the Besiktas fans and they started flipping the bird off to the London Lions fans saying, sod the wave, we're here for basketball.
Yeah.
Um, they had, I think 50% of them had no tops on. It's just a completely different type of basketball out there.
Yeah, no, it does. It does make for some good atmospheres. I do like the European atmospheres. It's not on all countries. You go to some countries, it's a bit
Yeah.
like here, but we have this
Mhm.
funny mix, I think, in the UK where we're getting this European influence now, but we still have a big American influence in the way
Yeah.
crowds at the games. But as on your travels, and obviously basketball aside, were any? I mean, obviously you're going there on business. You know, you're there for a day or two, play the game. But did you enjoy any of the places you got a chance to visit?
Yeah. There's Athens was really nice. While I was actually in Athens, I booked a holiday to Greece with my girlfriend because of how nice it was. I was saying to her that this is amazing. Greece is beautiful. I mean, we're in January and it's beautiful. She's like, right, let's look here. And we ended up booking a holiday. Trento was beautiful. There was we stayed near this, like, I think I want to say a mountain range.
Trento is in the
Um,
mountains, yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, I woke up in the morning, opened the curtains, and was in visible shock at what I'm seeing. A lot of the places are really cool. One of the things I try to do every time, I know I'm there on business, but
Mm.
every trip I went to, I would always try to go to like a local cafe in the morning, not on game days, and the day after the game days, try to go to a local cafe in the morning, grab a coffee and a pastry and rate it out of 10
Yeah.
because it's like I want to experience a little part of the culture while I'm there to see what it's like.
And anywhere else stick out, or are they the main ones?
Um,
Obviously,
yeah.
you've been to Germany. You'd been. I'm
I
trying to
didn't
think.
go to Germany. I didn't go
You
to
didn't go
any.
to.
I think
You
they're
didn't
the
go
only
to.
ones I missed out on.
Right.
I went to where else was pretty cool? Istanbul was cool, but it was busy,
Yeah.
really busy.
That makes London look quiet, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, they're just master at honking on the horns. I mean, that's all they do out there. But yeah, it was Istanbul was really cool. Expensive though.
Any games that stand out for you with the line
Mm.
in EuroCup?
I think Besiktas away. It still gets to me how the way their fans were almost behaving. They had this one guy, I remember him vividly. He paid for a ticket for the game and he didn't even watch the game. He was stood facing the crowd, and his whole job is
Yeah.
organizing what these guys are saying, getting them to chant in their significant ways. So it was like that was mind boggling to me because if I pay for a ticket for a game, I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the basketball. I'm not.
He's there to conduct the orchestra.
Yeah, and it's like the loudness, the energy, um, the way they get behind their team. It was something I've never seen before at that level.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The one we're finishing your but the one heartbreaking thing for me, for you guys in EuroCup, was you had that run of 3 games. Was it 3 games? Yeah, 3 games.
Hmm.
You lost by 1 point. I mean, I was at the
Yeah.
London game, so I remember Mark Smith scoring and you guys at the buzzer.
Hmm.
But there was just like three in a row where it just
I know. I mean, there's not much I can say on it. It's just
yeah,
like that is just sometimes how basketball goes. It's just unlucky. I mean, you could pick, another day we play that game again in the multiverse or what have you, and we win. They
yeah.
don't they don't hit that shot. They miss those free throws. We don't get called for that foul. But that's just how, it's how it goes sometimes.
Has it sort of set you up for like, I want more of this. I want to be back in EuroCup or another European competition next year. I want to.
A lot of the guys were not, yeah, they were kind of annoyed with it. It kind of fueled, um, the SLB and the trophy and everything and the cup. We're kind of like really, really
Mm.
focused on it now. And a lot of the guys are saying like that's not how they want their European journey to end. So I'm not sure what the guys' plans are with EuroCup and where they're going next year, if they're staying, if they're going.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're really keen on, you know, going back to winning days in the EuroCup.
It's interesting. It's fired you up because Lions, I think pre-season predicted to get somewhere around sixth place. You know, you weren't that far
Yeah.
from the end.
Hmm.
Um, but it's good that it's fired you up because obviously you've got the trophy. You're now in the cup final. You know,
Yeah.
you're top of the championship, and obviously the
Hmm.
playoffs to come. I think on the Lions podcast, I don't like the word, but I think Brian called it a quad. I'm not sure.
Quadruple.
Yeah, I'm not worried about quad. Yeah, we used to call it
Mm.
clean sweep in the old days. You go back to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
before you were born, the Cheshire Jets won it, and that was the Jet Wash. Wonderful. We had the Eagles, and that was the sweep, but they also called it the swoop because obviously Eagle sort of thing.
good.
So you need to come up with a. I was like, come up with a better name. But yeah, you're in a very good position now. It's just that obviously that European thing, but that's done dusted now, isn't it? It's all about
Yeah,
let's get the trophy, let's get the league, let's get the playoffs,
yeah,
and because you're playing with guys who've played NBA. You Randall was there earlier. Randall was on the EuroLeague team that won the title, but Real Madrid. Guys who've played at high levels all across Europe, across the world. What's it like for you, day in, day out, going and training with these guys, playing against them, scrimmaging against them, learning from them?
you learn so much. I mean, some of the things so you obviously learn on the basketball floor, and what they'll do is, say, for example, you mess up or they see something that they go, "Ooh, do this instead." Obviously, you're going to listen to them because, they've played in the league, they've played in the Euro League, they've played all across the world. So you're going to listen to them. But sometimes what you may see or what people may not realize is how they act off the floor, the way they treat their bodies, the way they act professionally, what they eat. You know, the way they go about their business, the clothes they wear, the way they hold themselves. A lot of it is I've learned so much from these guys off the floor.
Hmm.
So one of the things, I mean, obviously I ate clean last year, but this year I've been even more focused on the even cleaner eating. So
Hmm.
making sure my utensils aren't having any microplastics in them. I'm cooking with stainless steel, no stick pan. Some of the guys have got me onto that. So it's kind of like they're teaching you stuff, not just about basketball and what you learn on the floor, but kind of what your lifestyle should be like, how you should treat your body, how you should recover, the way you should go about your business. It's all like, it was a massive, again, an eye opener to see the way these guys hold themselves.
Anyone stood out, or you don't want to like mention names?
Jason was probably the biggest role model I could think of because you got to remember he had a family, so he was a family man. He made time for his kids and his wife. He ate clean all the time. He dressed well, spoke well, played, he's played well. Um, I feel like I am bigging him up because he was really good.
Hmm.
He was really good, and the way he treated me and talked to me and guided me, the way he would, really focusing on rehab if his body was sore, the way he would treat the weight room, he treated it as a way to get better rather than, oh my God, we have to go lift weights again and whinge about it. Like he was such a professional, such a professional. I think probably the most professional person I've come across
Hmm.
ever.
Because you see obviously some limited court time this season. Do
Mhm.
you live for the scrimmages, the practices,
Yeah,
everything?
yeah.
I
There's
suppose they
a
make you a better player, don't they? Because you're playing against
that's
these guys.
that's the only time you really get for your game like shots. I'm doing like little quotation marks here, game like shots. So
Mm.
I remember a guy, his name was Kofi Josephs.
Kofi, yeah,
You may know Kofi,
yeah.
and he was telling me that when it comes to this path that you've taken, you ain't going to get as much minutes as you probably think you're going to get. So that when it comes to practices, they have to be your game days. Every day is
Mm.
your game day now in practice. So when we get to 5 versus 5 or 3 versus 3 or just 1 versus 1, that's your game rep. That is you. That is you, you know, applying all the skills you've learned and you're learning from these other people, applying it to something rather than nothing. Because
Mm.
you can learn all these skills from people. Oh, look what Chase is doing here. Look at that jab step. Look at his footwork. But if I can't apply it to anything, what does it matter? It doesn't add up to anything. So Kofi always like told me treat those as if it's your game day. The scrimmages have to be your game.
And I'd like to ask you about obviously it's the way the roster's set up, obviously because of budget and stuff. But there's a big British influence on the roster this year. What's it like playing a team with a lot of very good British players?
Tell you what, sometimes it's like it's weird. I'm gonna be honest, it's really weird because I grew up watching these guys,
Mm.
if that makes sense. I grew up watching Ethan Price and EABL. I'm not sure if you've watched EABL, Ethan Price highlights.
No.
They're vile.
Mm.
He was bullying people. I mean, I remember watching him at Barking. Ade Adebayo, I remember watching him, EABL versus Charnwood. He wore a pink headband at the
Mm.
Essex Sports Arena. I watched that final. All these guys, Ovi Soko. I remember watching his Midnight Madness mixtape. That was vile. So I've seen all these guys, and I grew up with them,
Mm.
watching them, aspiring to be like them, and now I'm here with them. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But then again, it's kind of like, oh, I can see these guys playing in EuroCup. And this isn't just me thinking this. I can see other British kids may say, look, all my days, I'm in Adamu. He came from East London, and he's now in EuroCup playing at arguably the third, is it the third highest league in the world, EuroCup?
Second in Europe.
Second in Europe.
They argue about it. Some people say
Yeah.
BBL second level. Some people say EuroCup. So
Yeah. So, yeah, roughly second in Europe. We can
Mm.
see British talent in EuroCup. And even I'm like, it's doable. You can do it.
Yeah,
So it's kind of again, it's weird because now I'm playing with my idols that I grew
yeah.
up idolizing. But then again, it's kind of like, look, you can do it. It's doable.
So here we are. We're in mid to late February. You've got one final down, one final to come. EuroCup is over, but it still feels like there's so much basketball to play, isn't there?
Yeah, loads. Still got cup final, a few more regular season games, then playoffs.
Yeah. And how does that
Yeah,
how does that feel? Do you feel like it's because obviously the final will be the playoff final if you reach it will be in May. Does it still feel a
yeah.
long way away?
It feels, I don't know, because when we were in September talking about, middle of the season and where we want to be in the middle of the season, that felt like ages away. But then before you know it, it's there. And you're there, and you're now in the middle of the season. You passed. We're almost up to the second FIBA break now.
Yeah.
And so it feels like, I think the final's on the 23rd of May, 20-ish of May, something like that, roughly around that time. But how many months is that? Where are we? February, March, April. We're roughly, what's that, 3 months?
Yeah.
3 months away.
Yeah.
But as we're both well aware, that'll zip by in a
Mm.
second.
I wanted to ask you one question about what's it like now you don't have midweek games because of EuroCup. Of course, when I wrote the question the other day, then I saw on social media the Lions announce games and you're playing midweeks. It's like
Yeah.
keeping it going.
Yeah.
I'll finish on that question quickly. What was it like for you? Because obviously, okay, yes, you're not playing a great deal of time, but of course you're pretty much every game almost. What's it like this constant schedule, midweek games, weekend games? Is it sort of thing because you're young? It's great, it's fine, I enjoy it. Or
It's I mean, it is fun because you're playing a lot of basketball at the end of the day.
mm,
But you're knackered, constantly you're knackered.
mm,
Because say for example, we have a EuroCup game on a Wednesday, we will travel the Tuesday to the country, play Wednesday, travel back Thursday. Then if we have a game, say on the Saturday, we have to practice on the Friday,
mm,
then play Saturday. So because I'm not playing as much, my body's all right, but the travel adds up and all that adds up. And then I do top ups as well. That's called top ups. So
mm.
say for example, if you play less than 10 minutes, you
Yeah,
will do sprints or a workout
yeah,
or something on the lines to,
yeah. I work in football a lot, and substitutes who barely play or don't play at all, they're on the pitch after the game. People don't notice that 'cause they've gone home,
yeah,
but those guys, yeah,
top ups. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So you do your top ups. So you're knackered after that regardless. So but the people, like the guys, their bodies get knackered quick because one thing that people don't realize is that basketball is a really high impact, high loading sport.
mm,
Jumping, landing, change of direction, speed, being able to get hit. That's one thing people don't realize how hard it is to be able to absorb contact. That's difficult. So their bodies get knackered quick. And having a midweek game and then potentially a game on the weekend as well, plus the travel,
yeah,
it's difficult and it creates a lot of stress, not just on the players, but then on like the physio staff who have to give the guys treatment, look after the guys. The coaches then have to plan around how people are feeling. Causes a lot of stress.
mm. Well, we'll have to leave it there for today. But it's one of the things before we go. One thing I will say about the scheduling this year, regards EuroCup and the league, is a lot better than it was a few years ago when Lions first went into EuroCup. They were playing their EuroCup game and sometimes having to play a BBL game as it was then the night after, and that was That was a lot to take. But there you go.
Ridiculous.
Listen, I just want to say it's been great to get you on today, Matt. I wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Thank you for joining us, and good luck.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Big thanks to London Lions for helping set up this interview. If you're listening to this episode around release date, the SLB Cup final we talked about during the interview is taking place at Manchester's AO Arena on the Sunday 22nd of March, along with the SLB Women's Cup final. In the men's game, Manchester Basketball hosts the London Lions, and in the women's game, Manchester are taking on the Big Brawn Sheffield Hatters. Check out Super League Basketball on social media to find out how you can get tickets. Back to the podcast, and before I sign off, the good news is that episode 30 has already been recorded and is in the process of being edited for release. If you want to make sure you get the episodes as soon as they drop, please follow or subscribe to the pod on your favourite podcast host. But for now, until the next time, my name's Niall Gray. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to the Eurostep Brit podcast, a hoops and hockey production.